I'm playing in my room! Oh, hey! Hey, on this week's episode of Nerdistic Tendencies, we check out the new books in my collection, and we also have some comic book collecting tips, so come on in, check it out. Hey, what's up, nerds? Welcome to this week's episode of Nerdistic Tendencies. I am your host, Ray Hale. Don't forget to like and subscribe, hit the ringy dingy so you can get all of my notifications. Don't forget to look me up on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook for a deeper dive in the nerdy. This week we're on the prowl for comic books, and we're here at Trader's World to get all sorts of cool shit. Now, I'm not alone this week. This week I have two guests that are going to roam around and scour the world for comic books. This week, first, I have my daughter Allison.
Hello.
And then, if you remember, a couple of weeks ago, I received a letter from a kid by the name Logan, who just got into comic book collecting. So we brought him along too. So here's Logan.
Hey guys.
So what we're going to do now is we're going to go inside, see what we can get inside of Trader's World. We're going to look around, do some shopping, and see what we get. But first, let's check out the comic books that I got early this week from my local comic shop, Bell Book and Comics. All right, let's take a look at what I got this week. Here's the first book. Fantastic Four, number 94. Big key here. Okay, so this is the first appearance of Agatha Harkness. It's also the first appearance of her cat Ebony. It is also the first time Franklin Richards is mentioned in the comic books. That was huge. Very happy to get this book. Big fan of the Fantastic Four. Actually trying to finish this run, but the books are starting to get more and more expensive. So, but this one was a really cool book to have. Okay, now this next one is another big key. What If, Volume 1, Number 10. This is the first time that Jane Foster appears with Mjolnir. In this book, she is called Thordis, but for years, this book was just another What If comic, no big deal. But years later, Marvel actually relaunched Thor with Jane Foster as Thor. So that's another run that I want to pick up on. But this is the first time that Jane Foster appeared with Mjolnir and became Thor. So in this book, she's referred to as Thordis. But needless to say, this is a huge key. It cost me a little bit of money, but certainly well worth it. And now with the MCU's Thor Love and Thunder, we'll have Natalie Portman wielding the hammer again, so that will be pretty cool. So speculation has caused this book to go up a great deal. Let's see what else we got. This is really cool. Really nice copy of Avengers 110. Featuring, obviously, the Avengers, but the X-Men and Magneto as well. That was really cool to get. Okay, so this next one is a key, but it's a minor key. This is Captain America Annual Number 3. This is the first appearance of the Threcker. I guess that means something. I don't know. But that's pretty cool. Huge Captain America fan, obviously. This is certainly a run that I'm collecting. So it was cool to get a hold of that book. Okay, so this next one is a pretty big key. Not in great shape, but still cool to get. Captain America number 110. This is the first appearance as Rick Jones as Bucky, and it's also the first appearance of Madam Hydra, who later becomes Viper. Viper, if you've seen the Wolverine, the movie with Hugh Jackman, she's actually in that as well. So, pretty cool. I love a lot of these old Captain America books. Was glad to get that one. We got some more of them here. Captain America number 116. Pretty cool. Alright, this next one, Minor Key. This is a beautiful copy of Captain America and the Falcon number 137. This is actually the first time Falcon and Spider-Man actually fight. So that's pretty cool. Another real nice copy of Captain America and the Falcon number 191. Best part is Stiltman is in it. Stiltman is kind of a joke. He's not a very successful villain, but I got such a kick when I picked this up. I needed this. If you can read over in here, it says, "I've been paid to murder you, hero, and the Stiltman never fails. He always fails." So that's pretty cool. Here's another key. This is Marvel Feature Presents The Defenders, number 3. So this what makes this a key is it's the third team appearance of the Defenders. It's also the first time that the Hulk fights Zemnu. Zemnu? I don't know. Apparently it's a thing. So that's pretty cool. Alright, we have another key here. Keep it on the Defenders. This is actually Defenders number 9. Again, beautiful copy here. Pretty good. A little bit of an issue down here in the corner, but overall pretty good. The white is very white, which I was pretty happy about. So this is part 4 in the Avengers Defenders War. That's what makes that a key. So that's pretty cool. Defenders, I have a huge run of the Defenders. So trying to get some of these earlier ones have been quite a challenge. I think I basically have, like, it ends at issue 152 and I have like 48 to 152 in a complete run, trying to get, missing some of the earlier ones. So it was cool to get that. Now, as I've featured in other videos here, I love a lot of these old reprints, so we're going to go through these here. Marvel Tales number 10, old square bound book, kind of beat up, but still pretty cool to get in the collection. We've got number 16. Now these are, a lot of the earlier Marvel Tales were reprints of various books, but for the most part they tend to reprint earlier Amazing Spider-Man stories. So that's number 16. Number 24. That's pretty cool. Alright, so we have Marvel Tales number 27. Cool old book, 70. Kraven the Hunter, pretty cool. Marvel Tales number 28. This is a beat up copy, but this is the first time I've seen one out in the wild, so this is really cool. I like that. Marvel Tales number 30. Marvel Tales number 34. Marvel Tales number 40. Marvel Tales 44. Cool Kingpin. Marvel Tales 48. Marvel Tales 53. Oh, look at this. We got another Marvel Tales. Marvel Tales number 96. Like I said, a lot of these are reprints of Amazing Spider-Man. It's still pretty cool. A lot of these books, you know, especially with Spider-Man, a lot of these older Amazing Spider-Man stories, the original books, are so expensive, even for low-grade copies, even for copies that aren't really keys. So at least for the reading portion, it's cool to go back and read some of these old stories, even if it is a reprint in Marvel Tales, but it's still pretty cool. I like them. These are really cool. Uncanny X-Men Annual 1. In this particular case, this annual, known at that point in time as a king size special, they're actually reprints of older Uncanny X-Men books, but still pretty cool to have that one in my collection. Now, Uncanny X-Men number 161. Some of these are pretty beat up, but you never see these. At least I don't where I shop and look around. So, Uncanny X-Men 61, you can tell by the green dot that it's a key. This is the second appearance of Soren. What's this crazy guy? Pterodactyl? Pterodactyl? Yeah, no. So that's he's a well-known X-Men villain. It's cool to see that one. This one's pretty cool. So this is Uncanny X-Men number 66. You'll notice that it also has a green dot, so it's a key. So in the 60s and early 70s, the Uncanny X-Men, it wasn't a very popular title. In fact, it was going to get canceled. But what they opted to do is, instead of canceling the title, they continued to publish the title, but they didn't have original stories. So X-Men number 67 to Uncanny X-Men number 93 were reprints of older books. So this one here, what makes it a key is it's number 66. It's the last original story in this original run. So that's pretty cool. Not to mention, it also has the Hulk fighting the X-Men on the cover, so that's pretty cool. The rest of these, again, like I discussed, are reprints. This is Uncanny X-Men number 69. They're older stories, just reprinted. Number 77. Number 83. 85. And 86. The last couple are actually in really good shape. You just don't see these very often, so when they come up, you have to grab them. So I was really happy about that. It definitely expanded my X-Men collection today. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. That's what we got this week.
Well, we finished up here at Trader's World. Went through Cincy Comics and looked at a couple other stores. I got some books. Kids didn't really find anything that they were looking for. But there's always the next shop. We're on our way. And while we're in the car traveling, why don't you take a look at the books that I just got.
Alright, let's check out our Trader's World haul. X-Men Classic number 59. Nothing special. It's a reprint book, but it's a run that I'm collecting. This X-Men Classic run, it's just reprints of Uncanny X-Men comics. But they usually have a pretty cool new original backup story. So I like to get those and check them out and read them. They're delicious. X-Men Classic number 64. Now here's another book. I've never seen this before. Again, this is reprints. A book called X-Men Firsts. Never seen it before, but it gathers up the various debuts of various X-Men: Rogue, Wolverine, Gambit. Looks like Mr. Sinister. So again, all reprinted from their original first appearances, but still pretty cool. Is essentially all dollar books here. Marvel 2-in-1. Thing and Ben Grimm. So this is Marvel 2-in-1 issue 100. This is the last issue in this run. So that was pretty cool. What the number 2. So What the is a really weird comic book. It's really goofy. In this one, a lot of times it's parodies of various Marvel characters. This one, it's Superb Man versus the Fantastical Four. So those are kind of fun to read. So this is really cool. One of the books, I'm a huge John Byrne fan, and one of the books that run that I've been trying to complete is the first run of Alpha Flight. And this is a positive step in the right direction. Alpha Flight number 72. Alpha Flight 78. That's pretty cool. Alpha Flight 82. Alpha Flight 85. Pretty sweet. Alpha Flight 86.
Another Doctor Strange appearance. Alpha Flight 89. Alpha Flight 93. Number 95. This is cool. This is the 100th issue. So that's pretty cool. Excited about that one. All of these were $1. Alpha Flight 102. Alpha Flight 103. 108. 109. 111. Infinity War crossover issue. That's pretty cool. 113. And 114. This gets me a lot closer to completing my Alpha Flight run. So that's pretty cool. Successful grab. Alright, we're here at Bell Book and Comics. We had to park in the rear today. They're popping. Let's go inside and see what we can get. Okay. Well, if you liked Wandavision and you want to get to know more about her and the Vision, here's a few stories for you to check out. So this is a good one to start with. This is Vision and the Scarlet Witch Volume 1, written by Bill Mantio and with artwork by Rick Lenardi. These are kind of cool. This is more about Vision and the Scarlet Witch, the introduction of Magneto as Scarlet Witch's father. Pretty cool story for the time period. So this is actually a 4-issue limited series. That was 1. Death of the Wizard. 2. This is 3. There's Wonder Man. And 4. Quicksilver. Crystal, his wife in the comic books. So like I said, this is available in a trade. Or you can get the Marvel Comics app and actually read them online. So there's lots of options for you. If you're interested in this 4-issue set, right now because of the show, you can get all 4 issues somewhere between the $20 and $50 range. So if you're looking to spend up to $50 on this set, cool. It's definitely worth checking out. If not, if you don't want to spend up to $50 on it, I'm pretty sure you can get this in a trade for somewhere around $10, $12, something around there. Next is the 1985 12-issue run of Vision and the Scarlet Witch. These can be expensive. I'm going to show you what we got. What's funny is when my daughter and I originally started collecting this, we ended up getting all 12 issues eventually, but we basically got 8 of them for $1 and a couple of them for like $2, $3, and the last one, which is a key I'll show you here in just a second, for about $10. Now this entire set to collect all 12 comic books can go up to about $400. So I went from spending about $20, $22 to collect them initially. But again, based on speculation and the WandaVision television show, this has gone through the roof. Most recently at Buckeye Comic Con, I actually saw a set of these on sale for about $250. Yikes. So, 12-issue series. It's the first one. This is pretty cool. A lot of this series deals with their relationship and the fact that Wanda magically shows up pregnant. Issue 4 is a key. It's the first appearance of Glamour and Illusion. Not to mention, there's a magic show very much like what you see in WandaVision. So the fact that Wanda and Vision have their own little magic show in there that later is emulated in WandaVision
Also makes it a key. Also puts the value of the book up. So, got to be careful of that stuff. Number 5. Number 6. Number 7. Number 8. Number 9. Number 10. Number 11. As you can see, a lot of, just by looking at the covers, a lot of people showing up in here. This one has Spider-Man. You see Quicksilver again and Crystal earlier in there. Power Man. A lot of people in this book. Okay, so here is the big key. First appearance of Thomas Shepard, which is Speed. First appearance of Billy Kaplan, which is Wiccan. This is the issue that Scarlet Witch gives birth to the twins. So, as you can see by the cover, guest starring Magneto, Wonder Man. Pretty cool book. This is a very valuable book now. Again, thanks to Wandavision. So you can, depending on the condition, like I said, sets of these go anywhere between $50 to $400, with the 12th issue being the major key here. That's where you're going to spend most of your money. This is a big book. House of M. If you do anything, please check out this story. So the general synopsis of this run is House of M. Basically, Wanda, the Scarlet Witch, has gone crazy. Xavier and Magneto can't do anything to help her. And they basically have come to the conclusion that, you know, they got to kill the Scarlet Witch. Her reaction to that in the comic books is basically create a whole new reality that they call the House of M, where basically all the heroes are wiped and they live the life that they want. You know, it's almost like their dream life, but it's not a dream. So it's basically the X-Men and the Avengers pulling together and taking down the House of M. So if you haven't read this story, it is really cool. It's 8 parts, again, collected in a trade. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. What basically made this a big deal at the time was that by the end of the story, Wanda essentially wipes out all of the mutants around the world. The House of M, this new reality she created, comes crashing down and says, no more mutants, and snap. Basically, it becomes, I think they call it the decimation of mutants. So out of all the thousands or millions of mutants in the world, basically 198 remained. Everybody else was depowered. So it was a way to kind of reset the status quo in the Marvel Universe. But this is a very good read. So this collection here, it's not very expensive. It is available in a trade. Written by Brian Michael Bendis in 2005. Mint copies of all 8 issues may fetch you somewhere around $50, $60. So not expensive, but definitely a good read. Okay, the last one here is actually the 2015 Scarlet Witch run. 15 issues. The total cost, not very expensive. You can get all 15 issues mint somewhere around $60. Written by James Robinson in 2015. This is actually a pretty good story. So this takes place after the House of M, after Avengers Disassembled. This story is Wanda trying to make amends for what happened in the House of M. Her using her powers like this, essentially she broke magic. So it's her way of trying to fix things. So it's her walking the witch's road, dealing with all of these magic events and disturbances all over the world. It's a pretty cool read. Artwork is something totally different, something new, which I thought was really cool. I didn't think I'd like it at first, but it's really cool. 15 issues. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You see the artwork is crazy. 7, 8, 9. This is kind of cool. So this event is essentially happening during the Civil War II event. In this issue here, Quicksilver tries to recruit her and get Wanda involved because Wanda is super powerful. She basically tells him to go scratch. She needs to do things on her own. She doesn't need her brother anymore. Which was more or less, Wanda kind of taking responsibility for herself. She didn't need her brother looking out for her all the time. So that's a pretty cool issue. Number 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. You see a lot of the ghost of Agatha Harkness in this, kind of helping Wanda and teaching her and showing her, guiding her on this magical journey. So it's a cool little read. So certainly worth checking out. This too has also been collected in trades. So if you don't feel like spending up to $60 for all 15 books, pay the $10, $15 for the trade.
Alright, well, we finished up at Bell Book and Comic. I got my stack. Logan, what'd you get?
I got Doctor Strange Surgeon Supreme.
Allison, what did you get?
Silk poster.
Sweet.
And a water.
And a water. Allison's enjoying the new Silk run, so she got a poster to match it. And as for me, what did I get? Well, I'm about to show you, but I figured it'd be a good opportunity to take you through my process of when I come home from the comic book store, how things get bagged and boarded, stored, and organized. So let's check that out. So here I am in my studio with the new books that I got from Bell Book and Comic, and I'm going to kind of walk you through the process of what happens when I bring new comic books in. How do I do all this stuff? So I figured there's collectors out there, new collectors that would like to know. So I'm going to show you my newest books. And then I'm going to show you what I do as far as prepping them and organizing them. So it might give you some ideas, something to check out. So this is my second run this week with Bell. First comic I got, this is something new. Fantastic Four Life Story. This looks pretty cool. I heard the Spider-Man run was fantastic, so I'll check out the Fantastic Four. Also got, a couple weeks ago, I did a video on Strange Tales comic book. Well, I got 4 more copies here. These are 4 other old ones. So we're going to go through those. Captain America 166, Captain America 256, and Captain America 171. When I bring my comic book hauls back to my studio, the first thing I do is I start to organize them and give them new bags and boards. Bags and boards don't last forever, 7, 10 years, sometimes more. So what I like to do is when they come into the house, everything gets new boards. I don't know how long these comics have been sitting in their bags, so we'll get them new ones. So in this particular case, first thing I'll do is I will go through and remove all of the old bags. This one is really good. This is a Mylar. I'll keep that. These Strange Tales. You can see it comes, these bags are really old. So as you can see, actually kind of oily. So we're actually gonna swap these bags out here. Da-da-da-da. You can actually hear the bags are sticking to each other. Hear that? Okay. Kind of, it's almost like a oily kind of residue to it. But anyway, so then everything gets new bags and boards. Now, me specifically, I always keep a couple hundred that I've already, when you buy bags and boards in the store, you have to buy the bags and boards separately. So I typically will have a couple hundred in a box that I pre-bag. So I always have some on hand. So it's pretty simple. Comic book, bag, board. Put it in there, try and be as careful as you can. Especially on these older books, they're beat up. So, and I tend to use only Silver Age bags and boards. The reason for this is modern comic books are a little bit smaller. So if you buy modern bags and boards, your comics most of the time will fit, but it tends to be a tight fit. I'm more of a Silver Age and Bronze Age collector. Back then you had a lot of square bound books, annuals. They tend to be a little bit thicker, so you want the Silver Age bags and boards. It's just a matter of preference. So once you have it all bagged and boarded, it'll look like this. And what I used to do is take a little piece of Scotch tape, fold it over the top, and put the tape on it, but that's no good. What ends up happening is as you're pulling, inevitably what's going to happen is you're going to pull the comic book out, it's going to catch the tape, and as you try and pull the tape off the cover, you're going to end up ripping the cover. So I actually found a really cool tip that I'll share with you guys. Green dots. Yep, this is the secret. Okay, all you do is pull a little green dot, pull it off the back, done. How great is that? Best thing is if you're in that situation, pull the book out and the green dot sticks to the cover, it's not going to rip your book. So that's really cool. That I dig. That's awesome. So, little tip for you. The best thing about the green dots is you can buy a package of them for with 1,000 dots in them, and it's only like $5. So you end up spending a lot more on tape for 1,000 comics than you do the green dots. So it's also a nice little budget trick for you. Pretty cool, huh? Okay, so once they are all now bagged and boarded, I go through and I organize them real quick by title, issue number, okay, so now that they're all sorted, get them sorted out here, 47, 43, 66, okay. So what I do at that point is I used to go, when I would go to the comic book shop, I used to bring lists of all the comics I'm looking for, and that became really crappy because you have a big long list, small little numbers, and inevitably I would end up making a mistake and picking up duplicate comic books because you're trying to read all this crap on a single page. It didn't really work out. It did what it was supposed to do, but occasionally I would have problems. But your phone, there's plenty of really cool apps out there. So I use 2 apps on my phone. One is called CLZ Comics. This is pretty cool. This is actually what I use to track my whole collection. So right now, you can't really see it, but it shows at the top here 6,211 comic books in my collection currently. So what I will do is, once I've got everything organized, I will search the title and add these books to my collection in the app. And once I've done that, there's another app that I use called Key Collector Comics. Now I'm going to have pictures that I'm going to put up here. Key Collector Comics. Now, so on CLZ Comics there is a membership fee, and it's like $15 for the year, and it's fantastic. Definitely worth the money. You know, it's like just over $1 a month. It's really no big deal. Pay for the whole year in advance and you're good to go. CLZ Comics, what that does is it tracks the keys. So once I've cataloged everything, I'll look in this app and go in there and search them up and see if there's a key that I don't know about in the new books that I got. So that's kind of cool. Okay, so after I've cataloged everything, now it's time to look at Key Collector Comics and check to see if any of my new books are keys. And it turns out I found one. Strange Tale 147. According to the app, it is a key. It is the first cameo appearance of Clue. Oh. So in this particular case, what I end up doing is these green dots again, and you've probably seen them in my videos. I put a green dot in the upper right hand corner. See? Once I've got the dot, I then in turn write what it is on the back. Now it's the back of the comic book, the board. It's on the bag itself. It's not actually on the comic book. And I'll put in there first cameo of Clue. It's interesting. See if any of my Captain America books are keys. Nope. Only one key today. But that's sometimes the way it is. Not all your books are key books. And sometimes even if you find a key, it's probably not a big key. It's not like the Agatha Harkness. The first issue of... it's not like the first appearance of Agatha Harkness that we debuted in this episode. So that's pretty much how I do it. Once I have them all bagged and they're all sorted, what I end up doing is these will go into a box that's basically a miscellaneous box until I have the time to go through and store them all in my book. I have tons of long boxes, so when it's file back day, it's a process. I'm in here for a few hours trying to put everything back and reorganize and do all that. So that's pretty much all I got. So I recommend the green dots. I recommend CLZ Comics. I recommend downloading the Key Collector Comics app. And there's one other thing that every collector should have in their collection. That's an Overstreet price guide. Big, thick book filled with information. Take the time, go through and do your comics. Wish I'd known more about the green dot idea with the keys, because it's something that I've implemented recently. Probably in the last 1,000 comics, there's 5,000 comics here that I still have to go back and do. So that's a project for another time. Maybe a vacation, I don't know. But, you know, not only do I love reading the books, not only do I do all, I actually also enjoy the bagging, the boarding, the organizing, because what that does is it helps to feed the crazy OCD monster that lives inside my head. So there's a lot of things that I get out of this, and it's so much fun and it's cool to do. It's time consuming, and it certainly is going to drain your pocketbook some, but especially if you're a new collector, it's important to set your budget. That's all I got. I hope you enjoyed it.
That's all the time that we have this week. Make sure that you like and subscribe, and you hit the ringy dingy so you can get all the notifications when my new videos come up. Also, don't forget to check us out on social media. We got Twitter, we got the Facebook, we got TikTok, we got Instagram, where we will post weekly and have all sorts of updates and cool little fun things. So don't forget to check that out. It's been real. It's been fun. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Okay.
All right. So every week, every week,
Turbo. What is that?
I don't know.
That's new.
So back then you had a lot of square-bound books, annuals.
On this week's episode of Nerdistic Tendencies, on this week's episode, we look at my new Boda. On this week's episode, we look at my new books. No, I don't like it. Oh, hey. Hi. Oh, hey.
Oh, hey.
This is gonna look so weird. good.
Oh, I was drooling.
God.
Yeah. Somebody cooking carrots? Is that carrots?
Wow.
Please use Silver Age bags and boards.
Indigestion.
Man, that hot dog's talking.
Ew.
Yeah, well, a lot of what I said before actually won't make it because I kind of restarted it. Yeah, I'm gassing. It's those hot dogs coming out of my poop.
Wow.